yields back. Gentleman from Oregon is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was quite interested in the dates that are set forth in your report, Mr. Hur, and the reason I'm interested is because I keep getting confused between the 2017 date and the 2024 date as to the condition of the president's memory. And so was there a difference? Because when I look at it, it seems like his memory was bad in 2017, and then it was bad today. But there's never any distinction made. But isn't it true that if you were going to be looking at at prosecuting as you were, you would look carefully at his condition in 2017? Isn't that the proper time? Because I think you say in your report that your best case, I think you call it out, the best case for charges would rely on Mr. Biden's possession of Afghanistan documents in his Virginia home in February 2017 when he was a private citizen and when he told his ghostwriter he just found classified material. That's the best case as you say it.
Yes.
And then you work your way through a series of defenses against your best case. So you were looking at his condition in 2017. And do I have that right?
You do, Congressman.
And his memory was bad then. We can draw our conclusions whether it improved over the next 6 years or not. But I just want to make sure it's clear that we're looking at his condition in 2017, which you then find as you go through the list of defenses that is his memory is bad, his memory is bad, his memory is bad. There's about 6 or 7 defenses here. And so what it gets me to is this question. And I actually pulled this quote out of something I read this morning, that perhaps your report concluded, and perhaps it did not, that the president is, quote, incapable of being held accountable. But that's not quite what happened, is it? You didn't find that he was incapable of being held accountable, did you?
I did not. Those words do not appear in my report.
They do not. But you reached a conclusion that you didn't have the evidence, but then your report continually recites these defenses. And I'm having a hard time putting the two together. If you didn't have the evidence, why do you persist in reciting these defenses?
Congressman, I wrote my report as an explanation of my decision to decline charges as to President Biden. And the way that I came up with that explanation and wrote it in my report for the Attorney General is the following. The approach that I took was a prosecutor envisioning what would be the probable outcome of trial if we charged this case, if we presented the evidence to a jury, and not only the government presenting the evidence to a jury, but what would happen if the defense lawyers also got a chance to try to poke holes in the government's case at trial. And with respect to one of the several potential defenses that I lay out in the report, one of them does focus on the president's memory-related issues. That is a defense that the president's defense lawyers may well present at trial. And a jury is going to be confronted with at least 3 separate sets of evidence relating to the president's memory. One is from the recordings in 2016 and 2017 from the ghostwriter.
But if forgive me for interrupting, but I'm limited on time as everybody else was. But you say, I think, that the evidence suggests he is incapable of forming, or you're incapable of proving, intent. There's kind of a bit of a difference there, right? You may well have had the intent, but you could not of holding these documents, and I hate to say hiding the documents, but you couldn't prove it. So what you did instead is fell back to the various defenses that might also be asserted against you. Kind of a heap of rationale for not pursuing the president. Is that, do I have it right now?
Congressman, I think we're on the same page. I think what I'm trying to convey is that the way that prosecutors assess the strengths and weaknesses of their case is to think through, hey, in the government's case in chief, here's the evidence we're gonna present, and the jury might be with us. But that's not the end of the trial. The trial also has to include presentation from the defense lawyers.
You're correct, and I'm a lawyer. I've tried cases, so I get it. Your report is not an exoneration so much as a determination that the evidence as you saw it would not overcome the defenses that you had identified, plus whatever lack of evidence you perceived. So it's not an exoneration, is it?
The word exoneration does not appear anywhere in my report, and that is not my conclusion.
The other thing that's of interest, and I think you were misquoted, you said something about, or someone, I think it was Mr. Raskin, suggested that you well, I'm going to run out of time, but I appreciate the work you do as a prosecutor, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Mr. Hur, we've been at this close to 3 hours. We will, if you can hang with us, we'd like to keep going. There's a chance we could complete votes by the time we have to go